The Chargers built up a big lead and then said, la, 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 la. But in the end, J.K. Dobbins rumbling and stumbling, 29 yards for the touchdown with 18 seconds remaining. The assumption was that the Bolts were just going to kick a field goal, but no. Dobbins went all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. The Chargers beat the Bengals 34-27 in the Sunday night game after squandering a 21-point third-quarter lead. It all went bye-bye. It all went away. Justin Herbert had 297 yards passing for the Bolts, a couple of touchdowns. He ran for 65 yards. The Chargers are 7-3 on the season. They win their fourth straight, and Dobbins ran for 2 touchdowns for the San Diego former Chargers. Now they're forced in L.A., but they should be in San Diego. Anyway, Joe Burrow, 356 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and the Bengals, despite all those gaudy numbers by Joe Burrow all season long, find themselves in the hole at 4-7. 4-7, they suffer another agonizing, heart-wrenching loss. And so let us discuss. The better story is in the losing locker room. The question, how do you explain the Bengals gagging away yet another game? So I've got calendar, eyelids, and Mike Tyson. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a milkshake down by the schoolyard. All right, now, so first of all, this is who the 2024 Bengals are. So the idea that somehow it was all of a sudden going to be different and you were going to change things is baloney. It's baloney. Cincinnati has mastered the art of the gut punch, the body blow to the solar plexus, down 27-6 on the road. And the shoulda, coulda, woulda game ends up happening. Shoulda, woulda, coulda been a blowout for the Chargers. But the Bengals came back. Then it turns out, though, if you look at the calendar, a lot of people didn't look at this, the Chinese calendar, it says for the Bengals, it is the year of the suck for the Cincinnati football team. Cincy has now lost 5 games by 7 points or fewer. Bad teams lose close games. Good teams win close games. Cincinnati is a bad team. Now, they also have a kicker named Evan McPherson. Many people pointing out the Bengals were bragging about him a couple years ago. Evan McPherson had not one but two chances to step up and win the game in the fourth quarter, at least put the Bengals ahead in the fourth quarter, but he was unable. Wide left from 48 and 51 yards. McPherson has missed kicks in 4 different one-score games. 4 different one-score games this season. He missed an extra point against the Chiefs, at Kansas City. That was the 1-point loss, 26-25. The field goal miss against the Washington football team. The Bengals lost by 5. Lost against Baltimore. The Bengals lost that game. He missed a field goal. And now 2 missed field goals against the Chargers. So Cincinnati, they go into their bye week 4-7 on the season. 4-7 after 11 games now for the Cincinnati football team. Now, we also have some locker room drama-o-rama as well. Jamar Chase did not have an answer. He was asked why the Bengals continue to suck at a time they cannot suck. He did not answer that question, although he did reference the head coach, Zactaylor. He said, Jamar Chase, I play football on the field. I don't call the plays for us. You know, a direct shot without saying Zactaylor's name. So what is the future looking like for Zactaylor with the Bengals at this point? What is the future looking like? So right now, in the cartoon bubble, in my head, Zactaylor is hanging on by his eyelids. Okay, he's hanging on by his eyelids is what he's doing. He's twisting slowly in the wind is what he's doing. The only thing saving him is the frugality of the Bengals, notoriously cheap, when they pull the plug, and they will pull the plug likely at the end of the year on Zactaylor, this becomes the number one job. The number one job, I said, with the jingle. That's the reality of it. Now, a chance to coach Joe Burrow, who is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. We all agree on that Joe Burrow, maybe he's not 1 or 2, but he's in the top 5 of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. So you get Joe Burrow, you have Jamar Chase who's going to be there. The question is, will the Bengals actually spend some money? It's normally a starter job. They typically don't spend that much money there on coaches. Bill Belichick's not going to work for peanuts, for example, if he would even go there. And you'd think he would, because that's the job. Would you rather coach the Saints, the Jets, or the Bengals? Those are the 3 jobs that we'll just focus on those 3 for right now. Of those 3, you take the team from Ohio. All right, now, final thought. So Jim Harbaugh called the Chargers' victory over the Bengals a, quote, signature win, addressing his team after the game. He said it was a signature win. Does that work for you? So I'm going to go no on this. That should not be a signature win. You were at home. You were favored. You blew a 21-point lead. How is that a signature defining victory for the Chargers, right? And Harbaugh said to his team, you never flinched. Now, where I come from, if you blow a 21-point lead at home, you absolutely flinched. You absolutely flinched. You stumbled, all of that, right? All of those things. Now, Harbaugh's been enjoying the Mike Tyson psychedelic toad venom that Tyson enjoyed before he decided at his advanced age to get into the ring and futz around and pretend like he was boxing. Now, the Bengals idiot kicker, right? The idiot kicker here saved the day for the Chargers. Otherwise, it would have been the same old Chargers. They got complacent. They went up by 3 touchdowns, and Joe Burrow sliced them up in the second half. Absolutely sliced them up. It was a butcher shop performance for Joe Burrow. And still the Chargers won because they were able to rally back at the end. Here is Zactaylor pointing out, the coach of the Bengals, why this is such a bummer.
It's a disappointing loss because I don't know many teams in the league are going to hang in 24-6 at halftime and dig their way back, fight the way our guys did. Proud of our guys, sick for our guys. I mean, those guys left it all on the field, man, gave us everything they had, stuck together, made play after play to get us back in that thing, and they just made more of a play than we did.
So is he saying then, Zactaylor, that most of the NFL just quits? Is that what he's saying? But his team doesn't quit, but everyone else quits? So the Bengals are in the 10th spot in the AFC. The top 7 get in. The last team in the playoffs, the Broncos, at 6-5. So they're 2 back in the loss column, Cincinnati of Denver. And here is Zactaylor saying, hey, the playoff thing is it's not done. No, listen.
I know stretch is our season over with. We get a chance to use the bye to kind of get back and get into a groove here in the last part of the season. And we're going to have to win a lot of these, obviously. We put ourselves in a tough spot. But I believe what I just saw from our guys, I've seen it every single week. We're going to be right there in the end and just got to finish these games off.
So if you look at the math, it is not over for Cincinnati. They play Pittsburgh, and that game is in Cincinnati. It's a divisional game. Divisional games are always, toss-up games. So you figure the Steelers, the way they play anyway, coming off a win here against Baltimore, they have to another game upcoming. But so that's a winnable game. Dallas sucks. Tennessee blows. Cleveland's garbage. Those are all games the Bengals have. The issue is you have to win all of them, and then they have another date with the Broncos and the Steelers. So the game at home with Denver in Week 17, the 28th of December. So, yeah, there's a scenario where Cincinnati's able to get in, but the way they've played, you are what your record says you are. And Cincinnati is 4-7 on the season and has had Heartbreak Hotel here, there, and everywhere.